So it's, I think it's October 16th now. And I've been learning a bit more about the septic tank after about, how long is it? 2 years, 2.5 years of living here. So the people before, I'm trying to drop my phone in there. The people before, well, said that, this is it in here. What's that wood in there? Pretty deep in there. The people before had children here, grandchildren living here. There's about 8 people in the house that lived here. And they said they were cleaning it out every year to 18 months. And since we've moved in, we've been doing it every 4 to 6 months. This is where the waste comes in, this pipe. And then this one is one of the soakaways that goes across over the field. So when we had that drought that time, you could see all the soakaways going that way. And then this one over here goes off to a soakaway that way. But obviously if you put bleach in these septic tanks, it kills 99% of all germs. And when it does that, it means it needs changing loads. We don't use that really, we use it a little bit in the kitchen, but otherwise we try and use all good things that you're meant to be using. But yeah, also it needs changing quite regularly. So you can get some additives that you put into these things. But a heating engineer we used recently was saying that if you chuck in a chicken carcass or a pheasant or a rabbit or a bit of roadkill, that gives off all the bad bacteria. And it basically turns it into almost water. So the sludge stays down low, and then the water goes into this bit and this bit over here. And then obviously goes out to the soakaways onto the fields. And that should last a lot longer, maybe 2 years. But it's only a 500 gallon tank here. And a lot of people are surprised that it's not bigger. At least like 1,000 or 2,000 would be more normal for the house size. But yeah, I think it's a pretty old one. It's probably maybe, I don't know, 100 years old, I imagine, when they do all the other work on the house. So instead of changing every 3 or 4 months, because normally I do it when it gets to, see the lighter part on the tank there, that sort of line. When it's at that line, it's above this one or about halfway through that one, then I'll get it pumped out. And that's what the previous septic tank cleaners that I used, they all said that. They said to, when it gets just below there, call us and we'll empty it out. And I don't know if they're just trying to rip me off. I'm not going to name names, but they're quite expensive. And I realised their minimum charge for a clean out was 1,000 gallons, and this is only 500 gallons. So I was probably overpaying in that sense anyway. But I think, and using this new company that came recommended today, they said just let it go much higher. And basically if it goes above this one here, and if it goes above that and it's not draining out and it's getting higher and higher, then clean it out, because that need doing. But basically what you want it to do, you want it to be all bubbling, because that shows it's working. And then all the bacteria eats itself, turns it into liquid basically, and then it goes straight into the soakaways out. But yeah, I think basically I've been cleaning it out too regularly before it's soaking away. So I'm gonna give that a try this time. I'm gonna see if I'll leave it maybe 6 months, 9 months. Like I said, it's October at the moment. I'm gonna see how I get on. I need to rebuild this at some point. And really, I think I should put a lock on it. Because with Violet, when she's older, I don't want her to lift up and fall into it or something. That's just an inspection chamber that comes from the house. So there's a few of them, so you can see any blockages. And it runs down here into this one. Then one pipe goes off over there. And then the other one goes in like I think it's 3 or 4 prongs this way and over to the fields. I'll show you where the other one is. basically goes into this one here. And then I presume, I haven't looked in this one because these are really heavy stones. But then it gets pushed out that way onto the paddock, the second paddock. But yeah, I'm gonna give it a try. Obviously it's looking a lot more autumnal here now. And I think the local farmers have released some pheasant onto the fields, ready for shooting season, because they are everywhere. I mean, most mornings now we're waking up and there's, I don't know, a dozen, 2 dozen pheasants in the garden. And you can see how the Asian pear tree, like I was saying in my last video, that's all going purple now. And the hornbeams hedging starting to change all the way down there. And the pear tree is going. The apples, I picked so many apples this year and there's still loads more left. So I need to get better juicer for next year. But yeah, this is all about the septic tank. And I'm going to try and looking after it a bit better. Try and avoid using bleach and household products. And then try and feed it a bit more. I guess, what's it called? Yeah, the heating engineer kind of explained it to me quite well. Basically, it's like the compost. You've got to look after it and it's got to have chemical reactions and then it will start breaking down and you'll be able to look after it much better. So yeah, I'll give that a go and keep you updated and report back when I hear more about it. Right now, I'm shutting the gate because last time I got this cleaned, Rudolph thought it was a good idea to run out where the guy had the pipe in the tank and it was just rolling around there. Rudolph thought it was great fun to roll around the grass and get covered in, you know what. So I'm gonna leave it like that for now, lock it off, and then probably later today or tomorrow, I have to check the forecast, I need to give it a mow, the grass, because it's getting a little bit long. And that's probably gonna be the last time that we mow it before winter kicks in. And I'm still surprised that it's nearly November, we've got apples on the tree. But once these apples have fallen, I'll pick those all up and then start getting ready for all the inside of the house jobs, because there are tons. So yeah, when the garage is built, it's going to be back down this way over there by the vegetable garden. So I'm going to have to connect the septic tank into the bakery one, which I think there's a manhole cover around here somewhere. So I'm guessing I'm going to have to dig up all the driveway, which is probably easier if it's gravel, and then connect it into that. And then it goes all the way under here and then down up to there. But I don't know actually if you're going off grid and if you're trying to focus on being sustainable, I don't know if you'd be better off with like a sewage treatment plant, you know, where they're electric and they kind of hum and break it down. Maybe they'd be a bit better. Or maybe what I'd really should do is at some point make that septic tank much bigger. So instead of 500 gallons, do it as a 2,000 or 3,000 gallon tank, and then just focus on looking after a bit more. Because I did think before, there's obviously, they would have had, in this house, they would have had, well, they did have servants living here, and they had quite a lot of people living here at a time, big families. So surely they couldn't have had, say, 10 people or 12 people living in a house with a 500 gallon tank. But then I guess they did have outbuildings and not normal toilets back then. So maybe that's the reason why it's not bigger. But yeah, perhaps later down the line, I need to look at extending that and making it bigger, because it wouldn't be very good if there was like a big off-grid kind of shut down or something, and I couldn't get that removed, because I'd probably have to put like a bucket and a rope on it or manually pump it out, which sounds gross. And I wouldn't want to be doing that every 3 or 4 months. So yeah, if you've got any advice or suggestions of what to do to make it better or to look after it, please drop a comment below. I'd like to hear it. And excuse the rough appearance. I've had about 2 hours of sleep last night and I'm probably covered in baby sick.